Hi guys, welcome to Get Curried. This is the Bombay chef Varun Namdar, and today with this recipe, I may possibly put an end to the perennial question, what came in first, chicken or an egg? Well, my answer to this would be a stuffed chicken omelette. Let's get cracking. First things first, oil goes in a pan. While the oil is heating up, let's start cutting the onions, tomatoes and capsicum. For this, I'm going to cut onions into thick horizontal slices. Moving on to tomatoes, again into thick horizontal slices. Green capsicum. All I'm going to do is remove the seeds and the cap of the capsicum and cut this into juliennes. The vegetables are cut and ready, so as the oil heated up, the first thing that goes in are cumin seeds. Once that starts crackling, I'll be adding in the onions and capsicum. Toss this up. While this starts cooking, let's also cut in few green chilies. Well, you can vary the level of spice as your choice. I'm taking 3 to 4. You can be your best judge. In go the chilies, and along with this, the tomatoes. To this now, after a quick few tosses, let's start adding the spices. Coriander powder. With this, ginger garlic paste, turmeric powder, red chili powder, chaat masala powder, and some salt. Stir this well and make sure the masalas are well cooked. While this is cooking, let's add in the juliennes of chicken. Increase the heat a little and make sure the chicken is completely well cooked. You just need to stir fry the chicken and at no point in time would be adding in any water. The chicken is cooked and ready. To this now, I'll be adding in some fresh chopped coriander and along with this, some lemon juice. A quick stir and off goes the flame. While the chicken is ready, allow me to move this and let's start with breaking the eggs. To this, I'll be adding in some salt along with red chili powder. Let's beat the eggs with a fork. And while this is happening, let's simultaneously also put some oil to heat. The oil is heated up. Let's pour in the egg mixture. I'm just swirling the pan around to make sure the diameter of this egg just increases a little. While the mixture is still a little runny in the center, let's add in the chicken mixture. Once the chicken mixture goes in, I'm lightly going to pick one side of the egg and cover it right on top of the chicken. The stuffed chicken omelette is ready. Let's transfer this onto a plate. With this, the remaining stuffing goes as an accompaniment, along with any lettuce of your choice. Well, in this case, I'm using some kale. And finally, top it up with any sauce of your choice, whether sweet or spicy. Your simple and delicious stuffed chicken omelette is ready. Do enjoy and wait for what makes the Bombay chef gets into your kitchen. Scrambled eggs, though look like a very simple recipe, is actually a technically complex one. But nevertheless, if you get those little nuances correct, you can never get it wrong. Hey guys, this is the Bombay Chef Varun Inamdar and welcome to Get Curried. The first thing while making any egg preparation is getting the temperature of the egg right. We need to have the eggs at room temperature. Because of this, you can absolutely control the cooking and the doneness of the eggs. To this, I'm adding a pinch of salt. And in a lot of restaurants that I know, salt is completely avoided. Addition of salt is a completely personal choice. I'm going to whisk these eggs for 10 to 15 seconds. And to this, I'm going to add in some dairy cream. This is to make the scrambled eggs nice and soft. Well, this is that one secret ingredient that most chefs use the world over. Another few seconds of whisking, and this can rest. To serve the scrambled eggs, I'm going to make some nice hot buttered toast, for which I'm going to apply some butter on a white toast, and this goes straight on a hot pan. Allow the slice of bread to toast nicely on one side for a minute, and then we shall give it a flip. In another cold pan in which you intend to make the scrambled eggs, I'm going to turn the heat on very low flame and add in some soft butter. Well, keep an eye on the slices of breads as well. While the butter is just about to melt, I'll add in the egg mixture. Mix this lightly and allow the butter to emulsify with the egg and cream mixture. Do not increase the flame and keep stirring this on an absolute low flame. We need to keep scraping the sides and bringing the entire mixture back in the center. I'll give the slices of bread a flip and continue toasting them on the other side as well. The technique of making the perfect scrambled egg is keeping the flame absolutely low. While stirring this slowly and steadily, you will see the egg mixture transforming into soft scrambled eggs. At this stage, you could add in some flavorings like chives, parsley or nutmeg, but my personal favorite is black pepper, but that too at the end of the preparation. Well, your soft scrambled eggs are ready. Time to plate these. And finally, I love serving my scrambled eggs with some cherry tomatoes. And give it a light flash. To this, some salt as seasoning and some freshly cracked black pepper. Final few steps, a garnish of basil and some freshly cracked black pepper. With this, scrambled eggs are ready to make your mornings extra special. Do try this at home and wait for what next the Bombay Chef gets into your kitchen. Also, do not forget to like and share our videos and subscribe to Get Curried. Hi guys, welcome to Get Curried. This is the Bombay Chef Varun Inamdar, and what I bring to your kitchen today is a beautiful club sandwich. Well, club sandwich for the uninitiated is a layered sandwich, like a double-decker sandwich with variety of meats. So let's begin with that. So for the sandwich, without saying it goes, we have a bread. I'm going to butter this bread. I'm going to toast this on medium flame till it becomes nice, crisp and toasted. Similarly, I'm going to start applying butter on the other side as well. Well, if you have a toaster in the house, use a toaster. In the same pan, I'm going to now render some bacon. So by rendering, I mean the bacon will get nice and crisp and it'll start releasing all its fats and oils. Now that the bacon is crisp and done, let's transfer it to a plate. Now I have some slices of chicken. I'm just going to add in a little bit of salt and pepper
Just rub it a little, and I'm going to pan fry this in bacon fat. Well, you just have to make it nice and golden brown on both the sides. Once that's done, we can move the chicken also on a platter. Now on top of this chicken, I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of yellow mustard. This is really going to add into the punch and pungency of this chicken. A little more black pepper, and I'm going to smear all of this on the chicken. So now that the chicken is ready, let's move on to the next, which is eggs. A little bit of salt and pepper. And this egg can be cooked as per the doneness that you like and desire. I'm going to keep it semi-soft, semi-runny. And as soon as this is flipped and ready, I'm going to transfer this on a plate. The first thing that I'm now going to apply is some mayonnaise, like a spoonful of mayonnaise on each bread slice. A little bit of mustard. Now I'm going to smear this on the entire surface of the bread. Now that everything is ready, now let's start assembling the club sandwich. Now the first thing that goes in is some crisp bacon. Now why bacon? Bacon because club sandwich is actually a BLT. B for bacon, L for lettuce, and T for tomatoes. So first goes in bacon. The next thing that goes in is some crisp lettuce. Well, lettuce can be iceberg, rucola, cos, romaine, lettuce of your choice. Well, at this stage, you're just going to press it a little so that it forms a nice layer. And now I'm going to slice in some ripe tomatoes. Next, the sliced tomatoes go right on top of the lettuce. So this is now a BLT. A little bit of salt and black pepper. And now goes in the next bread slice. Now goes in the slices of chicken. And finally, the egg. Now the side on which we had applied the mayonnaise and the mustard goes right on top of the egg. And now what goes on top is these wooden skewers. This just holds everything together and will make sure nothing falls. And finally, I'm going to cut this.
Now that the club sandwich is ready, do try it at home and do let us know how you like it. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe, and wait for what next Bombay Chef gets into your kitchen. Hi guys, welcome to Get Curried. This is the Bombay Chef Varun Inamdar, and today I get a very typical Bombaya street food to you. It's called the Anda Bhurji or the Egg Bhurji. Let's begin. Anda Bhurji is a spicy scrambled egg for which I'm going to use some onions and chop them finely. Onions are cut and ready. In a moderately hot pan, I'm adding in a little bit of oil. And along with this, some butter. While the butter is still melting, I'm sliding in the chopped onions. A quick stir and allow these onions to sweat a little. In the interim, let's chop the chilies and ginger. I'm just going to snip the stalk and chop these roughly. Well, this too now goes with the onions. A quick mix. And while this is sauteing, let's chop some tomatoes. The tomatoes are chopped and ready. Also, the onion, ginger and chili have sauteed well. Time to add in the tomatoes and continue sauteing it till it becomes nice and pulpy. To aid this process, I'm just sprinkling a little bit of salt.
Along with this, let's start adding the powder spices. The first one that goes in is some turmeric. The next, red chili powder. This can be as per your choice because remember, you've also added some green chilies.
And finally, the magic spice powder, which all Mumbai stall owners by default have it in their kitty.
So here is the pav bhaji masala. A nice mix. Just make sure the masalas just cook in well. This is the time when the flame can be lowered and the masalas need to cook nicely for 5 to 7 minutes. In the interim, let's break the eggs and start whisking them. A little bit of salt to season the eggs. Remember, the masalas already have the salt. And now let's whisk this. The beaten eggs go straight in the mixture. This needs to be mixed nicely and evenly on a very slow flame. Keep scraping the sides. Now that this mixture has mixed well, you can increase the flame a little and just make sure you keep stirring it till it's completely well done. One thing which is important for you to know is that an egg cooks at 60 degrees. So any temperature beyond that, the egg is well done. But here, you can keep stir frying it if you think you need it drier or you need it a little moist. That choice is yours. The bhurji is done and ready. Off goes the flame. And now let's add in some fresh coriander.
So here you have your ultimate Bombaya style Bhurji Pav, which is done and ready. Do try this at home, do like, do share, do subscribe to the channel and tag us on social media, not only when you make this at home, but also when you eat this outside with your friends. Have fun. When it comes to breakfasts across the globe, nothing can beat the magic of eggs and buttered toasts. So here is my mother's signature recipe of egg Bhurji sandwich. Hey guys, this is the Bombay chef Varun Inamdar and welcome to Get Curried. Unlike most Bhurji recipes that require a lot of cutting and chopping, this is relatively simpler. All it requires is a simple green chutney which is made with coriander. To spice this up, I'm going to use green chilies. Well, you can increase or decrease the quantity as per your family choice. To this, a knob of ginger and a few cloves of garlic. To add to it, there's also some cumin seeds which are untoasted and a little bit of salt. Salt is deliberately added at this stage so that the color of the chutney is reserved as well as it gets a friction while getting ground. We may require a few spoons of water. Let's grind this further. This coarse paste or chutney is kind of ready. Let's now move on to breaking a few eggs in a bowl. Time to season the eggs with some salt and pepper. To make the bhurji nice and soft, I'm adding in fresh cream. Well, you could also substitute this with milk. And finally, the star of this recipe, which is the green chutney. Time to whisk this with a fork. Just ensure that we do not beat this like a souffle. The idea here is just kind of getting the ingredients together. And while that's happening, let's also heat a pan. While the pan is beginning to heat, I'll add in some oil. And this is followed by a little bit of butter. While the oil and butter is just kind of beginning to heat up, I'll add in the mixture of egg and chutney. This is important because if this is added straight in hot oil, this will directly start converting into an omelette, and which is what we do not want. Lightly stir this to ensure that the egg mixture kind of emulsifies with the butter. And this step needs to be done on low flame. While doing this, keep scraping the sides and the bottom because you do not want the egg to stick to the sides of the pan. This mixture should not be dried out completely because remember the fact that it's going to get double cooked while getting toasted as well. So you do not want the egg to kind of become lumpy and dry. At this stage, I'll turn the flame off and add in another ingredient which is going to take the flavor profile to another level, and that is spring onions. But this time, I'm only going to use the spring greens for flavor. A light mix and your bhurji mixture or the stuffing for the toast is ready. Let's now move on to making the sandwich. For the sandwich, of course, we're going to use sliced bread. Butter this lightly. I'm going to apply very little butter because butter is also going to get applied on the outer side of the sandwich. Let's transfer the egg bhurji mixture on top of the slice. Well, this sandwich ideally would not take more than 2 tablespoons of the mixture. Otherwise, it'll get fat and plump, and that's not what we want. To make this sandwich richer, I'm going to add in mozzarella cheese. While you can also add in strips like these, you could also choose to grate it. A little more of black pepper. And lastly, covering this with another buttered sliced bread. The last and final step now is converting this into beautiful caramelized toasts. So for that, I'm going to use a gas toaster, which is specially used in Bombay to create a Bombay toastie. Well, you also get the electric ones, but I personally prefer the gas one. We need to carefully pick and place this sandwich in the toaster and apply some butter on top. We're going to do the same on the other side as well. For that, we need to close it and reopen it. Lock this up, increase the flame and allow this to toast for 1.5 minutes. This now needs to be placed on the gas burner and allow this to toast each side for 1.5 minutes. If you're using this kind of a toaster for the first time, it's always advisable to check this once-twice over every 45 seconds. Similarly, let's start toasting the other sandwiches. So here is my favorite breakfast, which will also double up as an amazing tiffin snack. I'm most definite you're going to enjoy this recipe. Do not forget to like and share the video and subscribe to get curried. An egg, being such a versatile ingredient, makes for a wonderful breakfast, lunch, brunch, or a dinner. Not forgetting the dessert courses as well. But today, I'm making a cheese and mushroom omelette. This is the Bombay chef Bhurji Sandwich. Welcome to Get Curried. Let's first begin with breaking the eggs in a bowl. To this egg, I'm adding in some milk or cream because the milk is going to make it nice, creamy and fluffy. To this, a few sprinkles of salt, some black pepper, and along with this, some fresh parsley. Let's chop this as fine as we can. Well, if you do not have curled parsley, you can also add in some flat parsley or cilantro. But nevertheless, curled parsley goes wonderfully well with an omelette. Well, if you get neither of the ingredients, you can also add in some chives or some spring onions. Give this a nice whisk. By whisking any ingredient, we are doing nothing but aerating it. By aerating, I mean incorporating some air, because that's how it becomes nice and fluffy. Well, while I'm whisking this, let me put the pan on moderate flame and continue whisking. To this pan, let me add in splashes of some oil along with some butter.
This butter could be salted or unsalted as per your choice. Well, while the butter starts melting, let me add in some button mushrooms. Well, you can use your choice of mushrooms as well. To this, let's add in some salt. And to this, let's add in some freshly crushed black pepper. Well, you may also use in some white pepper if you feel so. A quick mix. Let the mushrooms start sweating in a little. Well, while these mushrooms are sauteed, let me reserve a few for later use. To the ones still in the pan, let's saute this on high flame. Let's increase the heat. And to this now, let's add in the whisked egg mixture. You may reduce the flame if you wish so and give it a nice stir. Well, you may get confused and ask that this is something that we usually do for a scrambled egg. But we do not know that in hotels and restaurants, this is something that is done to add the fluffiness to an omelette. Once we reach this doneness of an egg, just reduce the flame a little and try to get everything together, scraping the sides, like so. At this stage, I'm going to add in some grated cheese. I love using mozzarella for a mushroom and cheese omelette, but if you wish so, you can use any processed cheese as well, or a cheddar or a Edam also does well. Let's lightly fold the egg, something like this, and eventually try and lift everything and give it a flip. Try to press the sides or the edges of this omelette and let it cook at the bottom side. Well, the steam that generates from the bottom of this omelette cooks the insides as well. Well, what you see at the edges is melted cheese, and do not confuse that with the rawness of an omelette. Let's transfer this onto a plate. Now that the omelette is ready, let's quickly make its accompaniment. Let's quickly make some sauteed spinach and some seared tomatoes. The first thing that goes in is some garlic in the same pan. Well, I'm using that with the skin because I feel it's much more nutritious than getting the peel away. To this, I'm adding in the shredded spinach, a few sprinkles of salt, and crushed black pepper. A quick few mixes and let the spinach cook. Well, the pan here is also heated up. I'm adding in some cherry tomatoes and let these sear on a high flame. A little bit of salt. Let the tomatoes and spinach cook nicely and make sure they both are salted right. A quick stir to the tomatoes. Well, here you have the spinach which is done and ready. And finally, the seared cherry tomatoes. Here you have this beautiful, sumptuous cheese and mushroom omelette ready with a wonderful cheese fondue hidden within. And with this, any day is a brunch day.
Children usually like a creamy chicken mayo sandwich any time of the day. So today let's see how to make lovely creamy chicken sandwiches. So for the chicken mayo sandwich, I'm going to heat a tablespoon of olive oil. Once the oil is hot, I'm going to add a teaspoon of garlic paste. Saute it for a few seconds. And I'm going to add 250 grams of boneless chicken cubes. Quarter teaspoon of pepper powder. Salt to taste. I'm going to toss this chicken for a minute or so, and then I'm going to cover it and cook it till the chicken cubes are done. So while the chicken is getting cooked, let's get the dressing ready. For that, I have a cup of mayonnaise, To that I'm going to add 1/4 cup of cream, very little pepper, and just a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic paste. Mix this well. Our dressing is ready as well. Let's keep it aside. We cook the chicken cubes for 10 minutes. Now let's shut the flame and wait for it to cool down. This has cooled down, so now I'm going to shred this. I have another option as well. If you find shredding a little more cumbersome, you can just pulse it in the mixer for 15 to 20 seconds. So here I'm directly adding this cooked chicken into the dressing. Let's mix this well. It's already looking nice and creamy. Now let's make the sandwiches. I have 6 slices of whole wheat bread here. I'm just going to cut off the edges. So what I do with these edges is I make it into breadcrumbs and use it fresh when I'm making my cutlets. I'm going to apply some butter to the slices of bread, some ketchup, little mustard. You can avoid the mustard if you don't like it. I'm going to spread a nice big helping of the chicken mayo dressing. I have some lettuce leaves, fresh lettuce leaves here which I finely chopped. This is optional as well. You can just sprinkle a few of these, cover it. Now you can cut it into triangles or any other shape that you like. Similarly, let's make the rest of the sandwiches. We've just plated these sandwiches and they're ready to be served. You can serve them with chips and ketchup or anything that your kids like. So do try this simple recipe and let me know. For such yummy and creamy snack recipes, keep watching Get Curried.